Space is packed with interesting objects. From black holes that roam the cosmos, to bodies composed of ice, dust, and rocks that roam the solar system, leaving a huge trail of gases and dust in the form of a tail. There have also been mysterious interstellar visitors, extremely difficult to detect, causing much debate in the scientific community. In this video, we'll see interesting objects from the solar system and space, such as Oumuamua, an interstellar visitor who has surprised astronomers. Recently, a team of scientists was able to solve the mystery of its origin, and Arrokoth, the most distant object ever explored by a spaceship. In October 2017, astronomers at the Pan Stars Observatory in Hawaii discovered the first known interstellar object within our solar system. Soon after, many scientists began to investigate this mysterious interstellar visitor. The object was named Oumuamua, which means explorer or messenger in Hawaiian. It was first thought to be an asteroid, then it was thought to be a comet, but with features that were strange enough to defy classification. Apparently, Oumuamua lacked a coma, something characteristic of comets. And also, according to observations, it seemed to have a rather elongated shape, much wider than it was tall, possibly like a cigar or a pancake. This intrigued scientists, because this shape is different from asteroids and comets in the solar system. Then something strange happened. Oumuamua started to accelerate away from the solar system. Astronomers noted that it exhibited a non-gravitational acceleration, a motion not attributable to the gravitational pull of the Sun or any other body in the solar system. Such movement could be caused by outgassing. When the Sun hits a comet, the hottest part of the comet bursts with gas. That gas that flows propels it faster and faster and away from the Sun. The acceleration strongly suggests that Oumuamua is a comet rather than an asteroid. However, no coma or outgassing from the object was detected. Normally, in a comet, the ice on its surface turns directly into gas as it approaches the Sun, what we see as a beautiful comet tail. Also, the acceleration was a bit faster than comets typically accelerate. All of this has sparked much debate in the scientific community and the public. Numerous theories have been proposed to explain it. Its rarity even led some to suggest that it could be artificial, a spacecraft or a piece of alien technology passing through our solar system. Its possible unnatural origin brought to mind the Interstellar spacecraft in a novel by Arthur C. Clarke. So, could Oumuamua be alien technology? The SETI Institute tries to find intelligent extraterrestrial life by analyzing electromagnetic signals captured in different radio telescopes. Scientists at the Institute have attempted to address these questions by using the ARA telescope to observe Oumuamua when it was at a relatively close distance from Earth. The intention was to measure artificial radio transmissions, which if found, would be strong evidence that this object was not simply a rock thrown into space. The idea was to find a signal in Oumuamua that would demonstrate that this object incorporated some kind of technology. However, despite a rather exhaustive and delicate search, they didn't find any signs. No signals were found at a level that would be produced by a transmitter on board the object. So this indicated to the scientists that Oumuamua has a high probability of being a natural object. But what is Oumuamua and what is its origin? Two astrophysicists from Arizona State University set out to explain the strange features of Oumuamua. In mid-March 2021, the two scientists said they had solved the mystery and published their peer-reviewed findings in two papers, Part 1 and Part 2. I'll leave the links in the description. The scientists calculated several types of ice and the kick they could give Oumuamua when they evaporate. So they calculated how fast those ices will sublimate when Oumuamua was closer to the Sun. They were then able to estimate the mass, shape, speed, and reflectivity of the object when it began to exit the solar system again. They found that a particular type of ice, nitrogen ice, and could explain the observed anomalies. This type of ice provided an exact match with all the features of the object simultaneously. Nitrogen ice is already known to exist in rocky bodies, as it is abundant on Pluto's surface. A comet-like object may be made of the same material. Any nitrogen gas escaping from Oumuamua would have been very difficult to detect with the telescopes used to monitor it. In essence, there was a tail like what one would expect from a comet. It's just that due to its composition, they didn't detect it. They also realized that a chunk of nitrogen ice will be much more reflective than they assumed. The brightness is roughly the same as the surfaces of Pluto and Triton, which are also covered in nitrogen ice. Its high brightness meant that it could be smaller than previously estimated, based on the light astronomers detected in it. A smaller size for the interstellar visitor means that any thrust from the sublimating gases will have a greater effect than is usually seen in comets, helping explain the unexpected speed with which it moved away from the Sun. The fact that it's made of frozen nitrogen also explains the unusual shape of Oumuamua. As the outer layers of nitrogen ice evaporated, the body's shape would have become progressively flatter, much like a bar of soap does when the outer layers fade through air. These new findings suggest that Oumuamua is shaped more like a pancake than a cigar. They then calculated the speed at which chunks of solid nitrogen ice would have detached from the surfaces of Pluto and other similar bodies early in the history of our solar system, and they calculated the probability that chunks of nitrogen ice from other solar systems reach our own. Based on the speed and trajectory of Oumuamua, the researchers suggested that this almost pure nitrogen ice chunk broke off from a Pluto-like planet after an impact and was ejected from its original system about 400 to 500 million years ago, possibly from the Perseus arm of the Milky Way. So astronomers can now reasonably identify Oumuamua as a chunk of an exo-Pluto. Oumuamua may be the first sample of an exoplanet born around another star brought to Earth. All of this has sparked a public debate about the scientific method and the responsibility of scientists not to jump to unwarranted conclusions. Although there is no evidence that it is extraterrestrial technology, Oumuamua has provided scientists with a special opportunity to observe extrasolar systems in a way they couldn't before. The Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile is expected to detect about one interstellar object per year once it begins operating, currently scheduled for 2023. In the future, a mission could be sent to an interstellar object like Oumuamua. We certainly have the technology. Scientists are planning possible missions that include flybys, encounters, and sample return missions. Although less complicated, in the past, missions have been sent to comets and asteroids in our solar system. One of the most outstanding missions was Rosetta, who visited Comet 67P to study it. The spacecraft took spectacular images. The Rosetta spacecraft followed a 10-year mission to Comet 67P to land a probe on it. The mission was launched in 2004, and the spacecraft reached its goal in August 2014. The mission included the Philae lander, which landed on the comet. Rosetta was the first spacecraft to accompany a comet when it entered in the inner solar system, as well as the first to attempt to land on a comet. After encountering the icy satellite, the spacecraft began a 2-year study of the comet's nucleus and surroundings, observing how a frozen comet changes as it approaches the heat of the sun. On September 30, 2016, when the comet was heading towards the outer solar system, where the spacecraft couldn't continue to operate on solar energy, Rosetta made a final dive on the comet, ending her mission. Another outstanding mission is New Horizons, that after flying over the Pluto system, made a flyby of the asteroid Arrokoth, becoming the most distant and primitive object ever explored by spacecraft. She came within 3,500 kilometers of the asteroid, which is considerably close. The spacecraft's cameras revealed a world not much like any of those explored before. The Kuiper Belt, where Arrokoth is located, is a region of space beyond Neptune that is littered with small, icy ancient objects. Arrokoth is located 44.6 astronomical units from the Sun. An astronomical unit, abbreviated as AU, is the distance from the Sun to the Earth. This peculiar object has two lobes, which means that it has two round pieces in contact with each other. It looks like a partially flattened snowman, and that surprised the scientists by being quite flattened. Arrokoth is also very red, even redder than Pluto. The reddish hue is believed to be the result of changes in surface materials, caused by ultraviolet light and cosmic rays over billions of years. Its shape indicates that its two lobes likely formed separately and merged smoothly within a cloud of particles early in the history of our solar system. The similar color of both lobes provides evidence for this interpretation. Space is full of surprises and mysteries. I'm sure that this decade will be full of amazing discoveries. I look forward to hearing from them. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. This is Julio from Sci Media. Until next time.